I'll do that later when we come back.
Okay.
All right, we're live. Have a good show.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
Pigeon
Pigeon
Forge
Forge.
and Smoky Mountains and our friends around the world. We don't want to forget them. And we're going to talk about them in just a minute. Hey, welcome to Mountain Monday morning. I'm telling you, it's a mighty fine morning. Wayne, you been a little puny. You feeling better?
I'm feeling better.
Yeah, he's Mountain Man.
Mm-hmm.
And good to have you back. And we're going to be going on to the program here in just a few minutes, right after this break, and we'll tell you about our special guest that we got coming in here. She's going to have this place hopping for sure. We'll be right back. The hillbilly picking and singing revival with the kind of music we played since way back then. Well, way back then. We're gonna have a hillbilly picking and singing revival, a grand reunion, and you'll never hear the likes again. We'll call all of our kin from miles around, have a few of our friends are coming in from town. Got a feeling they're gonna be getting home kinda late. Our door is open with a welcome mat. Now you just can't get any better than that for a hillbilly picking and singing revival. We're gonna have a hillbilly picking and singing revival with the kind of music we've played since. Good morning and welcome to Mountain Monday morning right here on Mountain Fun Life Radio. We're so glad you could join us, and we are absolutely live, mistakes and all. Wayne, you gonna make any mistakes?
Probably.
Probably will, okay. But we're gonna have fun with it anyway. We've got a guest. We've got a guest here that's going to have this place hopping, and I'll explain why I use that terminology
straighten
here.
Me out
Oh,
first thing.
man alive, you don't want to. And she had family to drive all the way up here, and I'm going to talk to her about that when we kind of get our guest in here. And by the way, I'm your host, Robert Omby. We got the Mountain Man, Wayne McCarter, sitting right over here front and center, and he's ready and raring to go this morning. And I'm telling you what, by the way, Mountain Fun Life Radio is numero uno again. Number one again. Now, that's something to crow about. I'm very pleased with that. But you know, it's not just us. We're just a couple in the back of the wagon helping to shuck the corn as we go along. It's the whole. I mean, it takes everybody pulling, working together, and I'm really, really, really pleased with that showing. I mean, out of several thousand radio stations, and we got, man alive,
Like us. Like us.
They do. It's really good. It's I think the programming here is so it's unique.
Like us and share. Like us and share.
You're on your toes this morning. She's already got you hopping. You're right. Be sure to hit that like button and share. And we will appreciate that very much, and that lets other people know about all the fun stuff we got going on around here. We do have fun with it. And But anyway, and some of the shout outs, man alive, we're going to get to after a while. I was up until midnight last night, or nearly midnight, and I was posting, kind of telling people about the radio program and Monday morning, Mountain Monday morning, and I had people, and our guest, we had someone from Australia wanting to know how to, didn't want to see the after effects, wanted to see the show live. And I thought that was really neat. And then this morning, I was back up at 4:30 making some more posts. And I had people just within a few seconds coming on again. And it is, I'm telling you, it's really, I'm pleased. I'm pleased that people are liking what we're doing. So if you're liking it, be sure and like it on Facebook. Like and share. By the way, Australia, you know that is way around the world. They call it the land down under. It's all the way. You know where Australia is at?
Yep, it's across the Pacific Ocean.
Pacific Ocean.
That's what I said.
Now,
That's what I said.
now okay. Anyway, okay. Well, I'll let you by with that one. I'm not going to clean your clock. I know you've not been feeling too well, but we're just going to. I'll tell you what. We this special guest that we've got has some family here, and her son, grandson, they drove half the night to come up here to see this program. To get to sit out in our control room out here and watch the goings on that we do in here. Now that's special. That's special.
It is.
And people like that are special. And I've known these folks now for a good little while, and we're family now. We're not just folks. We're family.
I like it when the family stands behind you.
Well,
that makes things a lot.
That's what this is about. Mountain Fun Life Radio and our Mountain Monday Morning Show, we're family oriented. You're not going to hear stuff that's going to be embarrassing. Now we cut up and we have fun, but we are faith based too. We like to have fun, but we got to live. We got to live in a manner that is pleasing to our Creator. You know that. We're not here. We're here for a purpose. We're not here just to take up space.
If
exactly.
we love one another, then we'd have such a wonderful world.
It would make the world a lot better place.
For whosoever believeth.
Yes, and that's what it's all about. I'm really glad you're feeling better. We missed you at our special Friday show that we did, and I was so looking forward to getting to rib you on that and have some fun out of you. But I guess I'll have to catch up this morning. But anyway, we've got Landra Skinner Sims as our guest this morning. You had met her before, had you? Or was this the first time?
First time.
This first time you met her husband, son, and grandson. Okay.
Great lady.
Sure is. They're great people. They're people. And
God-fearing lady.
Her her son and grandson, they live down in Georgia. But the Appalachian range, mountain range, they're still mountain folk essentially because the Appalachian Plateau is down on the Georgia side. You probably hunted down there before.
Well, how high does it have to be before we call it a mountain?
Yeah. No, really. The mountain effect can even reach out to, shall we call them, flatlanders? That's the reason they come here. No, I say that respectfully because they love to come to the mountains, and we love to have them come here because they become, they become part of us too. Because I
like to go up north and drive really slow.
Yeah, drive really slow. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, you get in trouble. You don't want to drive slow in Atlanta. You ever tried driving slow down in Atlanta? Now, I'm telling you what, brother. I've been through there. You don't dare drive slow through Atlanta.
Not hardly.
You get in trouble big time. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do. Why don't we go ahead and get our guest in here, and we're going to take a little break right here, and we'll just introduce her fine and proper. How's that?
Great.
We'll be right back. Well, we want to welcome you back to Mountain Monday Morning, and we're just already having a really good time right here. Now, we've got a special guest here, Landra Skinner Sims, and I told you she's going to have the place hopping. And here's why. She is the author of the children's, it's not necessarily a series, but it's a set of books called Frog Hollow. Now, Frog Hollow, these stories are very unique and very special to me because she put me to work on them late at night, didn't you? Why don't you, hey, first of all, before we get into the books, who decided to move to English Mountain, way up on top of the mountain? Well, did you decide that or your husband, Martin?
We had been looking for a house up here for about a year. We didn't know where English Mountain was, or they had houses up there. And I finally saw it in a real estate book, and we went up to the top of the mountain, and the minute I saw the house, I knew it was it. And I guess it was my decision.
Your decision,
I didn't.
okay.
Martin liked it. That's my husband, by the way, Martin.
He's out here, yeah. And your son, David, and your grandson, Cameron, I keep forgetting his name.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to get used to Cameron.
Yeah,
good name.
Yeah.
But anyway, they, as I said earlier, these folks drove up from, your family drove up from Georgia to see you on the hot seat because
I know, that's
they
the
kind of
truth.
figured that would give them a break.
Yeah.
Now, I'll warn you ahead of time, then we'll get back to your books.
Okay.
Anything that you say can and will be held
against me. I knew you would do that.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Knew it.
When we're working on these books, and when we were doing these, by the way, you were working on 5
in my head.
Frog Hollow 5 in your head.
I haven't put pen to paper yet, but it's there.
We had so much fun. We get to finding. I would try to find graphics and royalty-free graphics and stuff so that we didn't get in trouble using material that we weren't supposed to use.
Right.
But we had so much fun. We get to finding all these silly little things, you know. And I think you almost decided once we need to write a comedy, Frog Hollow. So anyway, but seriously though, this is Frog Hollow. It's not got a numeral only because we really didn't know at the time that there would be follow-ups. Why don't you tell us about?
No, I had written that story probably back in 1994. I had been writing Christian poetry and gospel music. And I would write the lyrics to the songs, and my son David.
We're going to talk about that,
Well,
too.
I'm not going into that yet. Just wait a minute.
Ooh,
Don't
boy,
jump the gun.
am I getting straightened out already?
But my son would put it, David, would put it to the music.
Yeah.
So I had put the music aside, and one day I just sat down and started writing this story about frogs. And there was 2 frogs, Lolly and Yoho.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very good friends. And they live in Frog Hollow.
Mm-hmm. Title of the book.
Right, around a 2-acre pond. And it's off of Highway 56 in Georgia.
I nearly fell into that pond working on some of
Yeah,
these,
yes, you did.
some of these
didn't you?
books here.
Yes, yes. So I wrote it, and after I finished, I sat back and I actually leaned back in the chair and I said, why in the world would I write a story? It was for children, actually. I don't know anybody to publish it. I don't even know how to publish one. And I finally just took it and I stuck it in my notebook with my music. Robert, it has been there. This is a God thing.
Yes.
I have to give him all the
I
glory.
believe it. I firmly believe it.
There's no doubt about it, because actually that book, or I should say story, stayed in that notebook for 23 years.
23 years. And I think you mentioned that. You're right about that in the first one, in the first copy. I believe
don't know. Did I? I don't
I believe
remember.
you.
But it was
I think you
23
did.
years. So I said, I wanted to tell everybody that don't think God is through with you yet. Because if you're willing to follow him and do his will, he's going to put you to work.
And here we are. This story is right now going out, not only across the United States, but around the world.
Right.
We've got some shout-outs we got to do after a while, but
Yeah.
let's finish with these first, and then we'll get
Right.
to our shout-outs, because we got some
Right.
wonderful people. I'm telling you, some of the people around the world are so special. They've been contacting us personally. We were both on the computer last night, and you
Right.
messaged me
Right.
that someone need our friend, both a friend to both of us
Right.
on the internet
Yeah.
and on
He's going to
Facebook.
be watching.
We're going to get to you in a minute. We appreciate
Okay,
you.
okay.
We appreciate you for caring enough about what we're doing to
Right.
inquire about, hey, how can I watch this and get it live? And I had people 4:30 this morning. Shortly afterward, I had posted, some little funny things, telling people to catch the program. Well, they came on and began to comment, like, share, and everything. I thought, man, people are special.
Right.
They're really special,
Right.
and I appreciate
Right.
folk like that who care enough to be interested when you're doing something for the right purpose.
Well, they've taken a real interest in these books.
Yes.
And, being that they're for children, I wrote it for children, but they're not childish.
Grown-ups,
Grown-ups
Like 'em
love
too.
it. We put on there from age 6 to 12, but now we need to change it to 6 to 100 plus.
and this one is, Frog Hollow 2.
Yeah.
I must have, you have
you
one,
got
don't you?
that
You
one?
have Frog Hollow
Yeah,
2.
I got 2.
This is Frog Hollow 3,
There's 2.
and there's 2,
And you got 4.
and I got 4 here.
Okay, so you got them all but 2.
Frog Hollow 2.
Mm-hmm.
And, or Frog Hollow, this Frog Hollow 2. And now this one is a little bit, has a few more pages and a little bit more elaborate because it's full color. This one is a special holiday edition. And we decided to go full color with the
Right.
interior, which costs
Right.
more money to
Right.
do that. But anyway, I'm telling you, it's beautiful.
I don't see I interrupt you when you're talking, but just never mind.
It's live.
I know, that's the thing. I was going to tell you in the audience that even though it's a special edition, a holiday edition, you can read it any time of the year. When I wrote it, I told you that I wanted to have a Christmas book, is what I thought. But then we decided on the holiday edition. And that book, I have prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed over it because it wasn't something easy. I wanted to keep the Christmas story in it, but yet again, it's from Frog Hollow's eye view
Yes,
of Jesus' birth.
yes. And that's what makes it so interesting when you
Right.
and you wouldn't. Oh man alive! I just now remembered. you withheld some information about this, a surprise at the.
That was the
The
third
surprise
one. That was
ending.
the third one.
Was that the third one?
Third one.
I think you did on this one
I
too.
wouldn't tell you. Well, the second one I left is mystery.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I was going to leave it where people could decide themselves on the ending, what they wanted it to be. And
And
they
you
said, no,
wouldn't-
you can't do it.
You wouldn't tell me what it was. I had to
No,
wait
I wouldn't
until
tell
I
you.
put
But then you were being cute. And
Nah.
you decided you were going to stick something in there and not tell me. So we
Well.
both kind of were at each other at the time.
well,
And
you know,
you-
I intended on getting even.
Yeah,
Uh,
I know you did.
Yeah.
And you did,
I did.
because you got to see it all first. And after we got it together, it was really a beautiful thing, because Martin, who is my husband, he looked at the book.
He's out here.
Yeah, he's out there, and he actually saw what you had stuck in the book and what I had written, and he actually said it brought tears to his eyes because he knew it was a God thing.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have been anything else but that, because of what was way it was put together.
Well, even though we have so much fun and the cut up stuff that we do, the funny stuff that we find when we're
Right.
putting them together, there
Yeah.
is the serious end of it is that there is a definite message that is needed for the entire world.
Right.
And hey, all of you out there listening around the world, there's something special about having your children to have content that is suitable for them, that's easy to understand. And by the way, I think that these are going to be made available through the facility here,
All right.
and the radio, the TV, and everything. You can discuss that.
Right.
Bob, we've already
Talked
Bob
it
Denny,
over.
our
Okay.
director here, who I got to get him involved. He sits out there quiet as a mouse, you know, and I have to
Yeah.
yell at him every once in a
Yeah.
while. Or if I make a
Yeah.
mistake, he yells
Yeah.
at me. But
Well,
anyway,
let's mention, though, that they do build children's character. That was
Yes.
the main reason.
That's-
And each story has got a message interwoven within the story. Like the first one, the first book was Obey Your Parents.
right. Let's get to our shout-outs, because
Yeah, go ahead.
my time starts running away from you when you're having fun. But we've got some of the ones that came my direction. And by the way, you people who were contacting us, now that you're on live, those of you who found it, if you will hit that click and share, show us that you really care. Poet didn't know it, make it rhyme every time. Now, we've got, first of all, let's give a shout out to our friend Daniel in Australia.
Yeah, Daniel Topham.
Daniel Topham.
Yeah, we'd like to say hello, mate.
He's the one that lives all the way around the Pacific Ocean, as Mountain Man said.
Yeah, yeah.
And they call it the land down under.
He's really been a follower.
He's my Facebook friend also.
Yeah, he is.
Appreciate your friendship, Daniel. Thanks a lot, brother.
Mhm.
And we have another one here. Well, I say another one. I've got a whole list here. I got barraged after we got through talking with Daniel and telling him how to find the program. We got Solange. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. In Texas, Joe Ellen. Rochester, New York, Mr. Prince. North Carolina. And of course, we mentioned Daniel in Australia. And Sarah Beth, Louisiana. Tony in Tazewell, Tennessee. Diane in Missouri. Cindy in Michigan. Nakash Rescue Mission, Pakistan. Bless you, brother, for what you're doing over there in Pakistan. Anada in India, a pastor. Bless you, brother, for what you're doing. And thank you all so
Amen.
much for being interested in what we're doing here. And by the way, you need to make mention, you had someone, a cousin, I believe it was.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well,
Uh,
now which cousin you talking about?
The one who came on Facebook that had never been before.
Oh, my
just-
cousin Jean Marie
your
Martin
yes.
from Wilmington, North
I
Carolina.
thought I had that down there.
And I told her I was going to say hello and give a shout out.
Yes.
And her mother
We
is
don't-
down and not feeling well. Betty Martin. in
And she'd never
Wilmington.
been on Facebook before.
No, she joined especially so she could watch your programs
Well,
and keep up with you.
my.
Yeah.
I really I appreciate that. I really
And all
appreciate
our
it. And I
Facebook
need
friends,
someone has to keep
too.
up with me. Yeah, all of our
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
Some of them may not even know about the program yet,
Right.
but that's the reason we need that click and share.
Right.
That people can find out about
Well, it's
all
gr-
the
it's-
stuff that
it's
we're getting
growing.
into.
It really is growing.
Okay, before we run out of time, we got to talk about. We got about 2 minutes here. We'll switch out again. We'll take a break. We get Mountain Man. He'll pout if we don't get him if he has to stay out there too long.
Sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really sad. But not only have you written the stories for the books,
Right.
you've written some songs. Now, one of them has been really, really, really getting a lot of requests here at the radio station. You probably, I don't know whether I told you
No,
that
you
or not.
haven't. You don't tell me
But
everything.
But the song, It's Almost 12.
Oh, really? That one?
Yes. That has been one tremendous song and
Yeah.
gotten a lot of requests.
Did you
from
tell
the
them the
radio.
story?
I don't know if I told the story or not, but
Yeah.
it's really a special song. And you've written a lot. And David out here, I don't know how many that I've put music down for. David did the music
We had
arrangement.
16
your son.
that you did.
16.
And then David sang 3. I think 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You
I
used his
believe so.
voice, but you threw all the extras in and you worked your magic without the spells.
Well,
That's
we-
what I call it. Yeah.
we do magic, but we try to stay away from
With
any
the
kind of
spells.
no incantations or
Yeah,
anything. We
yeah.
don't do that.
Oh, you
we
made them
don't- we
beautiful,
don't-
every song. It was just awesome.
Well,
You're very
his
talented.
bluegrass group. When we get a production done on that, we're going to be presenting it and getting it
Yeah.
out and seeing if we can. And I want to get him up here and put him on the hot seat. Maybe you
Yeah.
can come and just.
Yeah, that'll be a riot.
Yeah.
The two of
Oh,
y'all
you better
together.
believe it. Well,
Yeah.
he can do like we did with Tim here. Tim Parton.
Yeah,
He can bring his
yeah.
guitar, and we'll just come in here and we'll just have
Right. Now,
we'll just have a jam
his
session.
group is Cricket Ridge in Augusta, Georgia.
Cricket Ridge in Augusta, Georgia. And by the way, remember that's still mountain. Cumberland Plateau, or not Cumberland Plateau, but the Appalachian Plateau down in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's really been a pleasure. I've been looking forward to this, and I knew it would
enjoyed
be
it,
fun.
Robert, I really
Your nerves
did.
have kind of settled down now.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
you make it that way.
Okay, well,
Thank you very much.
we are very pleased that you could be here. We're going to take a break, and we'll get Mountain Man right back in here. We'll be back.
Okay.
Well, I'm telling you, that is one interesting lady, a mighty fine friend, and I'm glad you got to meet her and her family, her husband, son, grandson here, and it was really a blessing to have them here.
Sweet lady, I
Sweet
noticed
lady.
you and her use the same hair dye.
Oh. In case you're wondering why I've had this pen all along, I'm trying to halfway look official here, but I'm not pulling it off. I don't think. But anyway,
We'll get you a
Hey.
clipboard.
Let me get to something else here before we run completely out of time. If you'd like to sponsor this program, just get in touch with Bob Denny. Get in touch with Mountain Fun Life Radio. If you have a business and you'd like to be sponsored on here, I can listen. Remember, we're number one. We are number one. So if you'd like to be a part of what's going on here, we would be very, very, very happy. And thank you so much, friends across the United States, around the world. No, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to tell you say bye, Mountain Man. Just tell them bye.
Bye. Is that good?
Bye.